Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions of motherhood without any sense of purpose or fulfillment? Maybe you're struggling to balance your own needs with the demands of raising a family. Or perhaps you're wondering how to pass on your faith and values to your children in a way that will truly stick. I've been there too. As a mother, I've faced my own share of challenges and doubts. But as I've delved deeper into the story of Leah, a biblical matriarch and mother of 6, I've discovered some surprising lessons that have transformed my own approach to motherhood. If you're ready to uncover the secrets of effective motherhood and discover a more purposeful, fulfilling approach to raising your family, then keep watching. We're about to embark on a journey through the life of Leah, and I promise you, it will be worth it. Leah's story begins in the book of Genesis, chapter 29. She's the older sister of Rachel, and the two of them are about to meet their future husband, Jacob. But from the very start, it's clear that Leah is not the favored sister. Rachel is the one who catches Jacob's eye, and Leah is left to feel like second best. Despite this, Leah becomes Jacob's wife, and she quickly becomes pregnant. Over the next several years, she gives birth to 6 children: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. But even as she's building a family, Leah can't shake the feeling that she's living in the shadow of her sister Rachel. As I read through Leah's story, I couldn't help but wonder, what was it like for her to be the unfavored sister, the one who always seemed to come in second? How did she balance her own desires and dreams with the demands of raising a large family? And what can we learn from her experiences about effective motherhood? Let's take a closer look. As we delve deeper into Leah's story, we see that she's not just a passive character. Despite feeling unloved and unwanted, she takes initiative and has a conversation with God. In Genesis 29 verses 32 to 35, we read,
Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she said, "It is because the Lord has seen my misery. Surely my husband will love me now."
She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Because the Lord heard that I am not loved, he gave me this one too." So she named him Simeon. Again she conceived, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Now at last my husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." So he was named Levi. Here, we see Leah's raw emotions and honest conversations with God. She's not afraid to express her feelings and desires, and she trusts that God sees her and hears her. As mothers, we can learn from Leah's example. How often do we feel like we're just going through the motions, without anyone truly seeing or hearing us? But Leah's story reminds us that God is always present, always listening, and always ready to respond. As we explore Leah's story further, we see that she learns some valuable lessons about faith. Despite feeling unloved and unwanted, she chooses to trust God and His sovereignty. In Genesis 29 verse 31, we read,
When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless.
Here, we see God's mercy and compassion towards Leah. Despite being the unfavored sister, God chooses to bless her with children. As mothers, we can learn from Leah's example. How often do we feel like we're not enough, like we're just trying to keep our heads above water? But Leah's story reminds us that God is always at work, even when we don't feel like it. We can trust that God sees us, hears us, and is always working for our good. Just like Leah, we can choose to trust God, even when our circumstances seem impossible. Leah's story also teaches us some valuable lessons about family. As the mother of 6 children, she knows firsthand the challenges and joys of raising a big family. In Genesis 30 verses 1 to 24, we read about Leah's experiences as a mother. We see her struggling to balance her own desires and dreams with the demands of raising a large family. We see her navigating complex family dynamics and sibling rivalry. As mothers, we can learn from Leah's example. How often do we feel like we're just trying to keep everyone happy without any sense of purpose or fulfillment? But Leah's story reminds us that family is a blessing, not a burden. We can learn to prioritize our relationships with our children and our spouses. We can learn to navigate complex family dynamics with wisdom and compassion. and we can learn to trust God to work everything out for our good. One of the biggest challenges Leah faces as a mother is managing sibling rivalry. With 6 children, there's bound to be conflict and competition. But Leah learns to navigate these challenges with wisdom and compassion. In Genesis 30 verses 1 to 24, we see Leah's children struggling with jealousy and rivalry. But Leah doesn't let these conflicts escalate. Instead, she intervenes with wisdom and compassion, teaching her children the value of kindness, empathy, and forgiveness. As mothers, we can learn from Leah's example. How often do we feel like we're just refereeing conflicts between our children without any sense of purpose or fulfillment? But Leah's story reminds us that we have the power to shape our children's relationships with each other. We can learn to intervene with wisdom and compassion, teaching our children the value of kindness, empathy, and forgiveness. We can learn to create a culture of love, respect, and kindness in our homes, where our children feel valued, heard, and seen. Leah's story also teaches us the importance of prioritizing family relationships. As a mother of 6, she knows firsthand the challenges of balancing individual needs with family responsibilities. But Leah doesn't let her responsibilities as a mother overwhelm her. Instead, she prioritizes her relationships with her children and her husband, Jacob. She takes time to listen to them, to talk to them, and to connect with them on a deep level. As mothers, we can learn from Leah's example. How often do we feel like we're just trying to keep everyone happy without any sense of purpose or fulfillment? But Leah's story reminds us that our relationships with our children and our spouses are the most important investments we can make. We can learn to prioritize our relationships with our loved ones, taking time to listen, talk, and connect with them on a deep level. We can learn to create a culture of love, respect, and kindness in our homes, where our children feel valued, heard, and seen. Leah's story also teaches us the importance of trusting God's sovereignty. As a mother, she faces many challenges and uncertainties, but she learns to trust that God is in control. In Genesis 29 verse 31, we read,
When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless.
Here, we see God's sovereignty at work. Despite Jacob's lack of love for Leah, God chooses to bless her with children. As mothers, we can learn from Leah's example. How often do we feel like we're just trying to control everything without any sense of peace or trust? But Leah's story reminds us that God is always in control, even when we don't understand what's happening. We can learn to trust God's sovereignty, even in the midst of uncertainty and chaos. We can learn to release our need for control and instead trust that God is working everything out for our good. As we reflect on Leah's story, we're reminded that motherhood is not just about raising children, but about trusting God, prioritizing relationships, and managing challenges with wisdom and compassion. So, what can we apply from Leah's story to our own lives as mothers? We can trust God's sovereignty, even in the midst of uncertainty and chaos. We can prioritize our relationships with our children and our spouses, taking time to listen, talk, and connect with them on a deep level. We can manage challenges with wisdom and compassion, seeking to create a culture of love, respect, and kindness in our homes. As we close this video, I want to leave you with a question. What is one thing you can apply from Leah's story to your own life as a mother? Take a moment to reflect on this question, and then share your answer with us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you're inspired by Leah's story, be sure to like this video, share it with a friend who needs encouragement, subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.